What's up, upstanders? Dr. O here. And so I've seen all of these stories about AOC and Bernie Sanders and all of these Democrats, some who lost elections in Republican districts or lost to Republicans in their district or whatever, going to these places and doing town halls and attracting thousands of people. And look what they're doing to galvanize the people, and they're fighting back and so on and so forth. And yes, it's great. People say that, Democrats need to get out of Washington and get in touch with the base and get in touch with expanded the base. That is cool. And I think it's a good thing of what they're doing. And we need to support that. There are lots of ways to attack what this administration is doing. And I think that's important. But part of me was like, and then, my brother Simba reminded me of this as well. Like, yo, like, Vice President Harris did that. Like, she did all of that. And she attracted bigger numbers, had more people in those town halls. And this was before we got to see what Trump was doing. So why is everybody all of a sudden like, oh, this is so amazing now? This is what Democrats need to be doing now. When Democrats done did that with Vice President Harris. They had to move her joint to like freaking airport hangars. And then people got mad that she was running away from the base by going into these districts and talking to these people. What is it great now because Bernie Sanders is talking like a normal person, like y'all said that Democrats didn't do? And I didn't appreciate that dig at Vice President Harris because she talked like very much like a normal person. And as a matter of fact, as brilliant as she I'm not gonna say was because she obviously is still alive, but I mean was as a presidential candidate, as brilliant as she was, as that person, as a lawyer, as a senator, I believe that she toned down a lot of her language to make it sound as common as possible. But y'all, they were like, oh, well, yeah, okay, fine, but she didn't go on Joe Rogan shows, therefore. So this is kind of like nonsensical, right? It's really amazing, and we can have an honest argument and debate about whether Vice President Harris ran away from her base and whether if that was the right strategy. We can have that conversation, and many people feel like it was the wrong way to go, and that she should have focused more on energizing her base. But that's not what Bernie and AOC are doing, primarily Bernie. But that's not what they're doing right now. They are going to, as y'all say, ruby red districts and getting people galvanized. But as we've seen multiple times, getting people galvanized and big crowds don't turn into votes. So which one is it? Was Kamala wrong for going to red districts, partnering with Liz Cheney and all of these other types of guys, talking about what Trump was going to do? And she was talking about things that Trump actually already did and stuff he would do, or Bernie Sanders and the AOCs of the world, right? And are they only right now because Trump is doing what he said he was going to do and what Vice President Harris said he was going to do, and she has been proven right? How come nobody's talking about Kamala predicted all of this? Well, many of us are in our spaces. Y'all know. I see you, Simone Sanders, with the retweets and stuff. Like, many of us are talking about those things, but everybody else isn't. They're like, oh my gosh, Democrats are finding their voice, which is complete nonsense. Complete and utter nonsense. Every day I see new reasons why Kamala was right. But I mean, we already knew this was going to be the case. But I wish y'all who in the media who dissed her, said she wasn't doing this, she wasn't doing that, y'all who are y'all outside of the media who are praising Bernie and AOC and others now would kind of, and didn't give her props, will kind of revise what y'all were saying, because we can litigate the entire campaign and the mistakes made and so on and so forth, but don't act like what these guys are doing right now are like inventing a new wheel. It's already been done. But folks just didn't want to give the sister a chance. And the more I'm watching these shows, people are still talking about Democrats, just couldn't win because they couldn't get, people were making under $50,000 a year to believe that they were for them and the working class and so on and so forth. All conversations to have. But that conversation about people not wanting to vote for a black woman, that conversation has disappeared. Well, it was never really there in the first place, but people just don't want to own it. They don't want to own the fact that many Democrats won in spaces or won large numbers that Vice President Harris didn't get. And I think there needs to be conversations about voter suppression and what people like Greg Palast are doing. And there needs to be conversation about what really happened with some of these election machines and the numbers and so on and so forth, where I think every Democrat going forward needs to demand a paper recount in every election going forward. It's a tool that too many don't use. But that's a subject for another day. But really, at the end of the day, when I look at how how people are talking about Democrats lost because of the economy, there were those real cultural issues as it relates to men. Look at Hispanic men and how they voted for Trump, right? Didn't show up. white women who still showed up for the white men, of course. Some small numbers of black men as well. It wasn't anywhere near what happened with Hispanic male voters. Black men were the number two voters for Harris. Let's get that straight. Don't get it twisted. But you have to add in the misogyny to that. You have to add in the not voting for a black woman to that. Don't just still talk. Y'all still talking about these damn eggs, but still ain't talking about the fact that Trump ain't done a damn thing for those. So come on, y'all. Y'all know me. Call a thing a thing. Go out there and do your thing, Bernie, AOC, Crow, all of you guys, do your thing. But it's sort of like the Marvel movies. Everybody gives respect to Iron Man and the MCU, and what Iron Man did to bring in. Y'all know Iron Man. It's all good. Y'all who know it's all brought in the MCU to launch Marvel Comics, but give no respect for Wesley Snipes and what he did with Blade. But that's gonna be a conversation for another day. I think y'all need to give Vice President Harris more flowers. She deserves a little bit more. She was right about everything. And what these guys are doing now, they're following her lead. And, getting politically paid off the path she laid. Just call a thing a thing. That's all I'm saying. What do you think? Let me know. Peace.